Hello everybody, let's have a look at EOS on this video. I've had a lot of people asking me to have an updated video on EOS, so I suppose it's only fair because I was talking about it for ages before the breakout, and then I don't think I've even mentioned it since it has broken out. So this is EOS on the weekly, nothing particularly amazing or special about it. Obviously, obviously it's nice to see a weekly candle of that size, and it's pushing and pushing and pushing, and we're above this itchy cloud now, and we're essentially waiting for the cross to take place, the confirmed cross. It's not happened yet. The two moving averages, the conversion baseline basically, are both overlapping each other, but I would expect, unless we had a really big dump, a massive dump down to and below, I suppose, areas of significant support, then yeah, we're going to get that cross on the weekly, and that's the cross that I've been waiting for all these months on the weekly chart, and this will be above the cloud, and it will signify a change of trend that's probably already changed here. This is why we were buying the bottom, we were accumulating the bottom, anticipating for this change of trend to be confirmed, and this is what will confirm it even more to me, and this is where we'll really start to get excited. So like I was saying, all these videos ago, what we're looking at is a change of trend. We've clearly bottomed around this zone, we're accumulating around this zone, and what we're going to start to see now, I suppose, is a mirror image of the of the previous bear trend. So this is where the mirror would go, I suppose you could say. This is the kind of thing that we're looking at, generally speaking. I'm not saying that it's going to be a reverse of the fractals. I'm just going to say it's going to be a reverse of the trend. And because it's such an old, it's not really old, it's old enough chart, I imagine it to be relatively stable in its incremental steps up. That doesn't mean it's not going to come without dumps, and obviously it's going to be it's going to be vulnerable to the market's health. So we'll get rid of that mirror, because it was just an example. So it's not going to be perfect. But you can kind of see now, I suppose, how this plan is now coming to pass. It's kind of working out now, and this is what we were expecting. So buying after we broke out of this consolidation zone into the accumulation zone, buying anywhere around here has clearly worked out for us, depending on whether you bought it up here, or if you bought it down here, if you bought it right in the middle. So yeah, I was buying in generally from these levels here. That's the majority of the areas that I've been buying at, and I've been buying from basically when we broke out of it, basically, and tested it as support. So I've been buying for quite a while now. So, targets, the first target would be to break above this level here. This was the super resistance that we had to tell us that the accumulation zone is now finished. We're out of the accumulation zone, and now we're going to start the uptrend. So we've broken out of there. The reason this is a big deal is because, we had supports and resistance and resistance and resistance. Can't get many words out, but resistance, basically. You get the idea. And so now what we're looking at is a new level of resistance, which is here, basically, corresponds to this most recent local top, and that's where we were rejected from. Fair enough, that's kind of what we expected. So long as we're above here, I'm fine, and this trend is fine. So long as we remain above here, we can come all the way down to test this, by the way, and still be perfectly fine. This is, in fact, it would be relatively healthy to test that. Anyway, so we've got a golden cross here, but we've had many of these. We've had a golden cross here, and a golden cross here, and a golden cross here. But this one, at least, is diverging now. We've got a spread of the moving averages, which is something that we've not had this entire time here, which is why this was the accumulation period. You can't really trade it, but you can stock up on it, and you can buy bits here and there and everywhere, but you can't really trade. It's very difficult to trade. Now we've begun a trend. It's going to be easier to trade it, so leverage and things like that, or just buying and selling it, and I suppose buying more at particular resistance and supports, selling at resistances and things. My end game for this one is actually to hold it and hodl it, really, because my end game would be to at least see this previous high of around about between $13 to $15, but who knows where it'll go from there. Once you're up at that level, it's not too hard to imagine it doing another 100% over a period of months or so if the market is kind to it. So we're nurturing this at the moment. So let's have a look at some other positive things on this one. So we got our conversion baseline cross beneath the cloud, but the cloud was green, so I'll give it a pass. Let's just measure the the time period. So yes, it's not a very good cross in all fairness. So this Chiku span in itself and this Ichicloud, in itself isn't perfect. So we can use it, but we can't depend on it as an exit point. So really, what we're looking at is a game of support and resistance, and that's kind of what it's always been for me since we broke out. So support here, resistance here. Once we break above the $5.40, which is this previous top here, then the next levels would be between $6.50 and all the way up to, we'll call it $8.50. Now these areas will be pretty hardcore when it comes to finding. I'd probably say this area more so, around about $7. We'll put in another zone here. So rather than putting blue boxes in, I'm going to put these lines in instead. Because what we'll be looking to see is if we can break above here, hold above here, come up to test here, and then use this as support. This would be, an area of support. This is where we'd start to look at for, if it broke down from here, we'd get concerned. We'd be worried if it broke down from here, just like we'd be worried if it broke down from here. So incremental steps up. We're not expecting giant, massive moves anytime soon. We may get them. It's at the beginning of an uptrend, even though it seems pretty aggressive because it's moved quite fast. It's still at the very beginning of an uptrend, and when the top targets are up here and beyond, they really are beyond this chart. They're up into the $20 area. Then this is just a little baby step, and that's what we're looking to receive from this chart. Now we're looking to see baby steps up and probably big moves down, and baby steps up and big moves down, just as we saw them here on the way down. So big moves down, big move up, big move down, big move up, big move down. So we're going to kind of see the inverse of that. So hopefully what we'll see next is another baby step to see if we can take out or at least reach this zone, and then see if we can get supported on here. I know that sounds extremely volatile and crazy, but we are at the beginning of an uptrend. This one has moved independently to the rest of the market in the past. There's reasons for that. The chart wasn't really so much a part of that, but that is the basic deal. So we are waiting for this one to hopefully remain at this level or higher for the weekly close, where we would hopefully receive that conversion baseline cross on the weekly, and that would basically, for me, that would be the most important signal that you can get on pretty much any chart, because it means that the weekly wants to have a continuation of a trend. We have one of those on Bitcoin, I should say, and we've had one of those for a little while now, which only makes me more bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. So we got the conversion baseline cross all the way back down here. Now that wasn't a perfect cross, that was beneath a cloud, right? But you can see how aggressive it's been as a result of that cross. It's currently up to where we are right now, 600% from that move. Continuation of that cross will inevitably continue until we see the opposing cross or the GQ span touching the price action, which for Bitcoin is very, very, very far away. So again, we haven't even had that yet with EOS, but when we do get that, that's when I will be very, very happy. And again, we'll be looking at this chart, in the months and months to come, towards the end of the year, and we'll look at this little blip down here and go, wow, because I'm telling you now that I trade based on the chart, right? I don't make stuff up. The chart, I go by what the chart says, So this is why I was saying we can't trade EOS back there, but we can buy it down here. It's accumulation. So now we're out an accumulation. We can talk realistically about supports and resistances on the way up, and when we get this cross, it will mean a big deal to me personally. It might not mean much to you guys, but to me personally it would mean a lot, because these often have the most power of all the indicators that I generally use, and especially if we're above the cloud when we get that cross. Anyway, there's no need to go any further into any more detail. Again, it is the very start of the uptrend, and as much as it looks like it's been amazing, if people were probably measuring it all the way from down here and going, wow, But that's not how I'd measure it. I'd measure it from basically here. This was the turning point. So really, we're only up 25% from where I would consider to be the uptrend really beginning. And so in that respect, it is good. And obviously, most of us, if we've been accumulating down at those low levels, we've made more than that. But it's not about the quick returns on this one. This is about the long-term projection, provided we get those signals. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. But thank you for watching. I've got a live stream tonight. I do them Tuesdays and Fridays now, 8:30 this evening. So join my Patreon if you want to be part of that. £7.50 a month, you get access to those and some tutorial content as well. Anyway, other than that, join my Telegram. It's completely free, and I pop in there from time to time just to make sure everyone's behaving. Have a nice day and take it easy.